Stephen Curry left the game, and he was having a dynamic ball game. 38 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He was efficient, got to the free throw line 11 times. Brian Feely will join us at 6:50. Dr. Brian Feely, 6:50, to talk about Steph Curry's shoulder. We await the MRI, because this MRI could dictate a lot for the Golden State Warriors. If he's out 2 to 3 weeks, sure, the Warriors can survive. If he's out longer than that, boy, we got trouble out here in the Bay.
I know. It's... Man, the second that he started reaching for the shoulder and then slowly, he wasn't even jogging. I don't know what you would call it, like limping or whatever. He wasn't limp.
He was kind of walking up down the court, but he was holding his shoulder, and they got him out of the game.
And like right away, I was like, oh no. And then they showed the replay, and he swiped at the ball and then instantly went for the shoulder.
Kind of could have been called for a jump ball.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's bad. And I've hurt my shoulder. The left shoulder, the way he did, had it separated at 24 Hour Fitness on Ocean Avenue by a big-ass dude ripping a rebound from over my shoulder. And any kind of tear, cartilage, I mean, it's just, the season's in the balance, B. Like, if this is a months-long injury, they could be in some serious trouble. If it's weeks, okay.
Couple weeks, you can survive.
Yes, it's not the worst thing. I mean, there's just so many layers to this. Like, I felt at halftime watching him, like, when he hunched over and Q walked over to him, Bruce Frazier, at halftime as you guys were going to the commercial and they're going to cut to you, I'm thinking, dude, he's playing so hard in this game against India. I mean, he's playing dynamic, and I'm loving every second. He's exerting so much energy. Like, that's my initial thought.
Yeah, no, that wasn't my thought.
That's the reason why he got hurt. I'm not saying that.
No, my thought was when he was bent over like that at halftime, he had scored 27 of their 54
points.
He's
carrying them.
50% of their points. He scored half of it. And he was bent over thinking, what the hell just happened in that second quarter where they give up a season-high 47 points in a quarter? 47 points in a quarter.
They couldn't stop anything. They kept fouling.
74 points in the first half. It wasn't just fouling; it was wide open threes.
Well, that too.
Pacers hit 69% of their threes in the second quarter, 9 to 13 in that second quarter.
That Halliburton little quick, hip shot, dude. He's so much better at shooting than I thought.
Well, he's actually shooting a career low from the 3-point line, 39.7. He's a career 41% 3-point shooter.
Could have fooled me because he looked pretty good last night.
Well, no, but 39% is really, really good in the NBA.
Yeah.
He shot 40% from three over the course of his career.
I didn't even know
41%, so it's unorthodox. It looks funky, but it works. And he was 5 of 7 in that second quarter, or excuse me, in that first half from the 3-point line. So Steph's shoulder, when I saw him bent over before halftime, I thought it was a mark of frustration of how the team was playing in that first half.
I thought it was both that and it's just like, dude, this is too hard. Why is this so difficult? That's the way I also viewed it. Like, we're making this too difficult on ourselves.
I got to say, the Warriors were rolling 20-11 in the first quarter. Comes in with Ty Jerome. Comes in with JaMychal Green.
You're bringing it.
He comes in with Anthony Lamb, and he plays Kuminga. Kuminga had a rough first half. I thought Kuminga flipped the game in the second half. We'll get to that in a second.
He looked awesome.
There's a fascination with playing Ty Jerome, and Ty Jerome should never see the basketball court before Moses Moody. I thought it was criminal. Ty Jerome, to me, he's on a 2-way contract. He's not an NBA player.
I'm totally with you.
He's too slow. He's not athletic. It's tough for him to get his shot off. He just gave you nothing yesterday.
He's reluctant to shoot. Okay, Don Nelson has a theory, and I agree with this theory. A shot created is a shot that must be taken. No. How many times does he pass up a good shot, and then they get zero out of it?
Zero.
And he, overpasses. I'm like, Doug, rip that shot or get off the court.
So the Pacers in the first quarter with a 16-6 run. 16-6 run. Ty Jerome, and I'm not a big plus-minus guy, but Jerome and Lamb come in 4 minutes and 14 seconds, and all of a sudden, they're a -10. So this is why plus-minus can be flawed a bit. Steph Curry played all 12 minutes.
Okay.
If it wasn't for Stephen Curry, you would have been blown out in the first quarter. Steph Curry scored 15 points in the first quarter. He's a -1 in plus-minus. Why? Because Ty Jerome, Anthony Lamb, JaMychal Green come in and basically give you nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that flips the game. Then you get to the second quarter, and it just, the momentum that Indiana picked up, just steamrolls the Golden State Warriors. A 31-11 run. They were up 25 in that first half. And you're like, damn, this is how the road trip's going to start?
Right.
2 straight losses. You're Western Conference worst. 2-13 on the road. You're on your way to losing your 4th straight road game. Then you get to the third quarter, Shasky, and Kerr makes a subtle move. This is what makes Kerr. Now, I thought it was a mistake to play Ty Jerome ahead of Moses Moody in that first quarter. That made me sick. He starts Kuminga over Looney in the second half. He splits up the Draymond Green, Kevon Looney front court. He starts Jonathan Kuminga. The first guy off the bench was Moses Moody, and Kuminga goes out there and guards Tyrese Halliburton and slows him down. So I saw an article last night from Hoops Hype where they talk about, Jonathan Kuminga or James Wiseman could be made available. I'm here to tell you right now, JK should be deemed untouchable.
Well, no, so this is what I was telling Spadoni. I don't know if he needs to start because we throw that word around and then we get into this crazy game. I know this. He needs starter-like minutes. Would you agree with me there?
25, 30 a night.
Every single night. You were talking about the defense, and the defense was so good because he's so versatile defensively and so strong, and he moves really well. And for a young player who doesn't leave his feet, it's unique.
I mean, he slowed Halliburton down.
100%.
He scored 9 in the second half.
Offensively, his discernment on, none of you want to take a shot? Then I'm going to break my man off the dribble, and I'm going to attack the rim.
He's a bull.
Dude, I'm telling you, the guy is special. He's got to play more. And
he's got to play.
You and I have been kicking around, and again, starter, who doesn't start, who comes off the bench? And I had suggested, maybe hypothetically, if Wiseman comes back or whatever, maybe Looney's the guy who's the odd man out, just to try to, rework stuff. I love that he finally went to this. Here's my bigger issue. It's like, Steve, stop going to Anthony Lamb at all. Stop going to Ty Jerome at all. Those guys had moments. I'm not denying that they didn't look good early on. The more that you've played them, the worse they've looked. Now, JaMychal Green played a lot better in the second half, but Bonte, I'm not seeing enough from him for a veteran.
No.
He ain't giving you much.
No, not at all.
And he was much better. I agree with you. He was much better last night. But there's certain situations. For example, final possession for Indiana. You cut it to a one-score game. You need to get a stop. DiVincenzo's getting driven on. And I think it's Halliburton, I believe, or maybe it was the Gonzaga guard who killed him last time. Nembhard. They're driving to the cup, and GMG is guarding Miles Turner, who's 50 feet away from the hoop. And instead of doubling because the shot clock's coming down, he just gives a Zorro swipe. And I'm like, dog, you've been in the league how long? You got to double that guy in that situation. And then they get an easy layup, and that's game.
The one thing, though, I will say, and I'm not going to go crazy over that because they shouldn't have been in it. No, JaMychal Green's not going to be in that situation.
But I'm pointing out, what I expect from a veteran.
I hear you.
But you know what? The rookies,
he's a role player.
No, I'm
he
with
shouldn't
you.
be playing 19 minutes. I'm not going to go crazy.
You're right.
They're lucky to even be in the damn basketball game at that point.
Moses Moody played great, though.
They were lucky not to be in a basketball game. JaMychal Green should not have been in a basketball game.
Were they down 20?
They were down 25. 25. They were down 25, but they make a spirited run in the third quarter. They outscored the Pacers 33-19 in the third quarter. They opened the quarter out a 19-4 run. Get right back in the game. I thought Benedict Matherin's 9-0 personal run in the third quarter, where the Warriors cut the lead to 83-80. He scores 9 straight.
Yes.
Next thing you know, the Pacers are back up 10.
Yeah.
They're back up 13, yet the Warriors are able to finish the quarter. They're down 6 going into the fourth quarter. Down 6. You got a basketball game. You bring up Moses Moody. He's racked up DNP after DNP after DNP after DNP. He stays ready, though. And this young man played nearly 23 minutes last night, 5 of 6, 13 points, 3 assists. This is another guy. I would rather see him get minutes than Anthony Lamb or Ty Jerome. If you want to play Anthony Lamb, then break the glass in case of an emergency and play him. Other than that, I have to see Moses Moody. I have to see Jonathan Kuminga. Ty Jerome should not be in this basketball game. So Moody playing well was a positive step in the right direction. JK continuing his turn around the corner, becoming an NBA solid rotation player, a solid rotation player in the NBA. I think that's a positive as well. So those two things are positives. JaMychal Green, I'm not going to go crazy about. Should not be in the game, but I'm with you.
But he's a veteran.
I'm very disappointed in the way his season has started.
He's a veteran. I think the DiVincenzo signing has looked better and better as the year's gone on.
He's playing well.
I really like DiVincenzo. And I know he took it's not a heat check 3, but he took a 3 down the stretch.
The one at the top of the key?
I'm not mad at
but
that.
But you know what? They're down 4.
Exactly.
It's a wide open 3.
Mad at that.
It looked good. It was short.
And he had just hit a 3, didn't
he? Yeah. He hit 3 threes.
Yeah.
3
no, but I'm
threes
saying,
last night.
In that final
sequence, he hit a couple threes.
That's what I'm saying. So I had no problem with him taking that 3-pointer at that time. And I honestly didn't have a problem with Jordan Poole attacking the rim the way he did. It was a hell of a play by Miles Turner, pinning him. They got to get JP going. And they desperately miss Wiggins. There's just no other way around it. They miss that athleticism. They miss his defense on the perimeter.
There's no doubt they miss
Wiggins. They miss his rebounding because he's been a better rebounder this year.
But you know what? That's a winnable game.
The Draymond injection. I love Dre. You can't, and he's had a fine season.
Back-to-back road games have been awful.
What do you mean?
He's been awful.
He has? I didn't even know.
He's had no impact against Milwaukee and Indiana.
In these 2 games, you're saying? I thought you meant in back-to-backs this season.
No.
Yeah.
In this back-to-back that you just had against Milwaukee and Indiana, he's been awful.
The Milwaukee game was tough to watch, Pete.
It's been awful. And for him, it's disappointing to see him get kicked out there because it was a foul. That's a foul in today's NBA.
But you know that Curry's out. And you got to, like, what?
With a leader.
That's the thing. Like, come on, man.
And
you
the
can't
young guys
do
are
that.
looking at you and they're saying, damn, well, he's going to get kicked out. Well, maybe it was a blessing in disguise because he wasn't playing well anyway. That was disappointing to see him get kicked out.
That's a sad sentence you just said. And I don't think is false. I think you're right. He was playing bad. Here's the other thing. B, why is it even more sad that it was so predictable?
Yeah. I mean...
I would love to see what the algorithm is on games that Steph Curry gets hurt. How many times that guy's been
But
thrown
I'll tell you
out.
what.
I swear it's happened multiple times.
My 2 biggest issues coming out of that game last night.
The Curry injury?
The Curry injury, the left shoulder, and Jordan Poole.
So what is it with Jordan Poole?
He's shooting less than 32% from the three-point line this season.
What was he last year?
Hell, he's shooting less than 34% from shots outside of 10 feet.
Ugh.
10 feet and out, he's shooting less than 34%. I tell you what.
10 feet and out?
10 feet and out. 10 feet and out is shooting less than 34%.
Because that mid-range was killer for him last year.
Not this year. He's not even taking a mid-range.
God.
Not this year. And so when you look at Jordan Poole going 8 for 22. Now, the points, rebounds, assists, 25 and 5, that looks great.
Mm-hmm.
But I see 8 of 22. I see 1 of 7 from the three-point line. I look at the Milwaukee game, right? I look at the Milwaukee game the other night, and he's 6 of 17. He's 6 of 17 against Milwaukee, and he only hits the 3 threes. He is struggling right now, over dribbling.
Yes.
Playing at a pace nobody else is playing at. He's going 100 miles an hour. He's dribbling into no man's land. He's not sure when to shoot. The floater, I mean, something's up with Jordan Poole. And defensively, don't even get me started on him.
Well, he'll come in for the help swipe on like a block shot, and that's about it. Disconnected is the word I would use right now. It just feels like his game is disconnected to the fabric of the rest of the team's game. Like on offense, he feels like a one-man show as opposed to a guy. Because in the preseason, he was setting up, he was mixing it in, and he was in full control, and it just doesn't seem like he's that way right now.
No, not even close. Not even close.
How do you fix that?
I don't know.
Could the Steph Curry, like, no one wants Steph Curry hurt, but I was telling Joe Spadoni, could a silver lining, and again, I want to preface this, they need Steph Curry to do anything this year.
Yeah.
If he's out, season's over. We can all admit, like, so there's a
so here you go, 10 to 16 feet, 36% for Jordan Poole.
Yeah, that's not good.
16 feet to the three-point line, he's actually shooting 43%, which tells you that the mid-range is there. He's 15 to 35 overall when it comes to mid-range. But from the three-point line, he's shooting 31.9%. 31.9%.
That's not good.
But even 10
That's
10
Russell
to 16
Westbrook
feet.
is on.
But in the paint, you look at him at the rim, shooting 69%. 3 to 10 feet, he's shooting 52.3%. Get the mid-range rolling. The mid-range is a good shot. You don't have to be like Daryl Morey's Houston Rockets and shoot free throws and just threes. But they've got to figure out a way to get him going on this road trip so far. Teams are attacking him. And the other thing is, he's followed into this trap to where he's barking too much at the officials.
Well, I've been telling you that for 2 years. He's way too obsessed with the officials, and then it affects the his defense because he's sitting there with his head turned to the side. Last night, great example. He's supposed to mark up the trailer. He doesn't even, because his head's turned arguing. Trailer comes right down. That's his guy. It's his guy. Boom, layup. And this is a fourth quarter, a very important game. I can't believe I'm saying that. An Indiana Pacer road game is a very important game. Could a blessing in disguise, a silver lining, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you need Steph Curry to be healthy. But maybe if Steph's out for a couple of weeks and it's not something serious, getting JP back and going and being the lead dog, is that, I mean, are you more worried? Or are you more maybe optimistic if he has that kind of a role?
I mean, we know what he can do. He's just got to play better. He started the last 2 nights. Everybody wants him to start it. Well, he started last 2 nights.
I know.
What's the problem? What's the problem? He's moving too fast.
Yeah.
He's shooting bad shots. He's not getting back on defense. It's kind of ole, a lack of sense of urgency on offense, valuing every single possession. They're not valuing. The second quarter was a joke yesterday. A joke. No resistance. I was disheartened by what I saw in that second quarter. I'm saying, are we going to compete? Now, you come out of halftime. I don't know what Steve Kerr said. I don't know what Stephen Curry said. But damn, that's the sense of urgency I would love to see moving forward. Seeing that third quarter and seeing them bounce back like that. So that's a disheartening loss to me. That second quarter was very, very painful to watch.
It is. How many back-to-backs were there to start the year? You said 12, 13?
There was 15, I believe.
15. Okay. We were talking about like what their regular what their record was going to be heading into the year. And last night's a great example of like it's like baked into the season. Like Clay can't play. Now, I don't know. Maybe at the end of the year, maybe he plays. I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying, like, it's really difficult what they've got going here. Like, it's baked in. Like, you're going to sit at least Clay for probably 10 of those 15, maybe more. Who knows? And it makes things hard. And so I'm looking at the team that they have right now, and I'm saying to myself, I don't see how they can go on a run here where they can rattle off 10 of 14, 10 of 12. Like, I just don't know how that's going to happen. It feels like they're a win a couple, lose a couple.
Yeah, no traction.
Yeah. I don't see what the fix is here right now with this team. Now, the argument could also be made, Joe, the postseason is so unique to the regular season. There's no back-to-backs, and everything's different. You're going to taper down your lineup, and this team, more than any other team, it plays different in the playoffs than they do during the regular season because of the availability of others. The team I'm watching right now is not a championship caliber team, and it pains me to say that.
Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Not even a playoff team right now. And right now they're in a 10th spot in the Western Conference. You're 5 back in the Memphis Grizzlies and the New Orleans Pelicans. Luckily, nobody's separated from the pack in the Western Conference.
What are they from if you were to get home?
The 6th seed.
Oh, 6th seed. You said 6th seed?
So, no, they're in 10th seed right now.
10th seed. But what are they from the 6th seed?
2.5 back of the Clippers.
I mean,
2.5 back of the Suns.
And it feels like the sky's falling. So maybe I should just take a deep breath.
No, I mean, the sky's not falling, but there's concern. Why? Because Stephen Curry has an MRI on that shoulder. And he still have 4 games left on his road trip. Philadelphia, Toronto, the Knicks, the Nets. Nets have won 8 of 9. Joel Embiid is averaging 33 points a game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
Have Steph and KD played against each other yet?
Yeah, multiple times.
But we're fans there.
Yes.
Okay.
Last year he had the MVP chance for Stephen Curry at Barclays.
That's right.
And they started the season, the pandemic year. They started playing against each other. Of course, no fans there, but there was fans last year at Barclays.
I know. I was just thinking. I was trying to think, like, because it feels like the two of them have been hurt.
They're 14 to 15. It's Operation 500. Could you get back home a game under 500? Could you get back home at 500? I don't know. I don't know.
You identified this road trip as like that stretch that we were talking about after the 3-game stretch that you said was an easier one, and then they lose that 3rd game of that stretch. And
that Indiana game, the home games, yeah. But then the bad habits are starting to reveal themselves. You give up 74 points in the paint to the Houston Rockets, 72, I think.
And it coincides with the Wiggins injury, and it makes things even more worse.
No ball pressure. Point of attack defense is terrible. We're going to continue to talk some dubs. We'll get the calls.